Hello and welcome to this video from eltsustainable.com. How can we use the global goals and promote digital literacy in the English language classroom? I am Owen, and today we're going to look at how we can do this. We are going to focus on Global Goal 4, quality education, and the skill of information literacy. We are going to answer 3 questions. What are the UN Global Goals, and what do they have to do with me as an English language teacher? What is information literacy, and what does it have to do with me as an English language teacher? And finally, how can we bring them into my classroom? So what are the global goals? In 2015, world leaders agreed on 17 goals which are aimed at eliminating poverty, reducing inequality, and dealing with climate change. They will require international cooperation, and therefore English as a lingua franca will have a significant role to play in this, which means that you, as an English teacher, also have a role. And what's more, these 17 goals make the most amazing syllabus to build a course around. So let's focus on quality education. Its aim is to ensure inclusive and equitable education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. And yet again, we as teachers should really be in the middle of this. What about information literacy? We have more information than ever before, and this is a key literacy. As teachers of English, we must remember our learners learn English so that they can communicate information and absorb information, and so they need this skill. And so how can we support our students with this? I have dealt with Global Goal 4 and information literacy using an infographic, and I have to credit this idea to Nick Peachy, and I have adapted his lesson idea to this context. It all starts with a discussion, and in this discussion students activate their existing knowledge. They talk to each other and think about what these goals might be. Maybe they've heard of them, maybe they haven't. They talk about how education might fit into such goals. They guess. How does education affect the likelihood of war, health, environmental awareness? How important is education? All this will prepare them for the reading task involving the infographic. Next, I take them to the next slide. They make a note of these figures, 4 million, minus 3%, and so on. When they've got these down, I go to the next slide. Here is the infographic. You may not always be happy about this, but most of your students probably have an internet-enabled smartphone in their pocket in class. Let's use it as a tool. I then ask them, get your phones out, scan this QR code or type in this web address, or even I will just display it on the board. Their task is to find out what those figures mean. What is minus 3%, and so on. They go to the infographic on their computer, on their phone or on the IWB, and they read through it to find the figures. Aha! Decreasing the risk of war, minus 3%. If secondary education enrolment is 10% higher, the risk of war goes down by minus 3%. So they work through, they find out all these figures, discuss as a class what they mean, and we're ready to go on. Again, we're going to have a discussion, this time based on what they've now learned. What was the most surprising fact? Or what was the least surprising fact? What was your experience of education? What changes would you like to see? And this one, is there anything in that infographic that you find hard to believe? So, this leads us to the most important stage. Follow the source. Are you sure everything in that infographic is true? Pick 2 or 3 facts. Follow the sources at the bottom of the page and check the sources. Find evidence to show whether the piece of information is accurate or not. So if we go back to the infographic and we keep scrolling down, here is the list of sources. They check them, they come back together and tell the class, was the fact verified or not? And hopefully, if they do that for this infographic, they're going to do it with other information elsewhere. What advice would you give to others to help them decide how reliable information that they get is? Come up with a list of ideas. They discuss this. And if they are then able to advise others on checking facts, I think you've done your job with the lesson. What about you as a teacher? Where are you going to go next? Would you like to use this lesson that I've given you a section of? If so, just follow this link. Or maybe you'd like to deal with Global Goal 4 quality education in another way. Or maybe you'd like to use a completely different infographic. So whatever you do, I wish you all the best in your next lesson and look forward to seeing you back here for the next video. Thank you for watching.